She stormed out of her driveway the second she saw the cement truck pull up next door. Her slippers were half on, her hair a mess, but her voice, oh, that carried across the whole block. "Hey, you can't build that here. This is HOA property." I turned around slowly, holding the blueprint in my hand. "Actually, it's not," I said, keeping my tone calm. "This lot isn't part of your HOA." Karen froze, her mouth twitching like I'd just cursed her bloodline. "Don't lie to me. Everything here is under HOA. I'm on the board," she snapped. "Good for you," I said with a smile, "but this isn't your board's problem." Her eyes narrowed. She marched closer, peeking over my shoulder like she owned the ground beneath my boots. "I'll have this stopped. You can't just build whatever you want. We have rules here." I didn't answer, just pointed toward the small metal post on the property line. "See that marker? That's county land. I bought this lot last month. The HOA has no jurisdiction here." She blinked, then laughed, fake, loud, and echoing. "We'll see about that. You'll regret moving here, mister." For a moment, I watched her storm off, mumbling into her phone. My contractor whispered, "You think she's serious?" I chuckled. "With that woman, she's probably calling the President of the United States." We started digging the foundation that same afternoon, but I noticed Karen standing behind her SUV, watching every move like a hawk, her phone camera pointed at us. Later that evening, I found a bright orange notice taped to my temporary fence. "Stop work order. HOA violation. Contact immediately." The problem was, the notice had no county stamp, no official signature, just Karen's name written in blue ink. I took a deep breath, folded the fake paper, and smiled to myself. "All right, Karen, you just made this wall a little taller." The next morning, I woke up to the sound of someone yelling again. I stepped outside, coffee in hand, and there she was, Karen, pacing by the fence with two men in bright orange vests. She pointed at me like I was a criminal. "There he is! He's building illegally!" she shouted. One of the workers looked confused. "Ma'am, we're just here to trim the trees. The county didn't send us for any inspection." Her face turned red. "Don't you dare talk back to me. I'm the HOA president. This wall violates our height restriction." I took a sip of my coffee, pretending not to care. "Karen," I said calmly, "for the last time, your HOA ends right there." I pointed to the line where her perfectly trimmed grass met my dusty lot. "This side, county property. I can build up to 12 feet if I want." She looked like she might explode. "You can't build a fortress. You're ruining the neighborhood's look." I grinned. "Then don't look." She stomped away, muttering something about calling the authorities. I didn't mind. I'd already expected this. What she didn't know was that I'd done my homework. Every permit, every code, every approval was in my name and perfectly legal. 2 days later, as the concrete started to rise, her SUV appeared again. Only this time, she had a police officer with her. "Sir, we got a complaint from the HOA about unauthorized construction." I handed him a folder. "Here's the deed, the county permit, and the boundary survey." He scanned them, nodded, and turned to Karen. "Ma'am, he's good. This property's outside your HOA." Karen's jaw dropped. "That can't be right. He's making a giant wall. It's ugly." The officer shrugged. "Ugly's not illegal." As they drove off, I couldn't help but laugh. Karen sat in her car for a few minutes, glaring at the wall that now towered halfway up her SUV's windows. She pulled out her phone and started recording again, muttering something about going viral. I knew it wasn't over. People like her never stop after losing once. But I had a feeling the next move she made was going to backfire big time. 3 days later, I came home from work and found a group of HOA members gathered near the fence, clipboards in hand, whispering like they were planning a military strike. And in the center of it all, of course, was Karen. She pointed at the wall dramatically. This monstrosity violates our visual uniformity policy. It lowers property values. One of the neighbors, a quiet older guy named Tom, rubbed his neck. But that wall's not in the HOA zone, Karen. Karen spun on him. Tom, you wouldn't understand. This affects all of us. I walked up slowly. Afternoon, everyone, I said, keeping my voice calm. If you're here to admire the wall, construction's almost done. 10 feet tall now. Gonna add some stone finish tomorrow. Karen's eyes bulged. 10 feet? You can't do that. You're blocking my view. Exactly, I said with a straight face. That's the idea. A few of the neighbors snorted, trying not to laugh. Karen's face turned crimson. You think this is funny? I'll make sure you regret ever buying that lot. Already am, I replied. The next morning, she followed through on her threat. She filed a community complaint claiming the wall was unsafe and threatening. I got an official-looking letter, except, once again, it came from her printer. Same HOA letterhead, no government stamp. That's when I decided to play along. I posted a copy of the fake notice on my gate with a note underneath, unauthorized HOA documents will be recycled into concrete. Within hours, the neighborhood group chat was buzzing. People were tired of Karen bossing them around. Screenshots leaked, showing how she'd been bullying others, even fining a retired couple for having the wrong color flowers. By evening, someone slipped me a message under my door. Thank you for standing up to her. She's been terrorizing everyone for years. I folded the note and smiled. Guess I'm not the only one building a wall, just mine's made of stone. But that night, around midnight, I saw headlights flash through my window. Karen's SUV idled near my fence, and then I heard it, a metallic clang. I rushed outside, flashlight in hand, and caught her red-handed, spray painting the words HOA trash on my new wall. Really, Karen? I said, voice low but steady. You want to play vandal now? She froze, the can still hissing in her hand. You can't prove it was me. Oh, I think I can, I said, nodding toward the small blinking light above her, my motion camera. Her face went pale. She stood there frozen, her hand trembling as the red spray paint dripped down the wall. The light from my porch hit her face, guilty, terrified, but too proud to admit it. You set me up, she snapped, backing away. You can't record me without permission. Funny, I said calmly, because that camera's been up for weeks. County law allows recordings on private property. You might want to look that one up. She didn't respond, just dropped the can and jumped into her SUV, tire screeching as she sped off into the night. I looked at the wall, sighed, and took a photo. The words HOA trash gleamed under the flashlight, but all I saw was proof. The next morning, I filed a police report. When the officers arrived, I showed them the footage. Crystal clear, full audio, her voice screaming, "You can't prove it!" They exchanged a look and nodded. Yeah, that's enough, one officer said. She's been warned before for harassment. They went straight to her house. From my yard, I could hear her shouting, I'm the HOA president! You can't do this to me! But this time, no one listened. The same officer who once came for me handed her a trespassing citation. The irony wasn't lost on me. By evening, the neighborhood chat exploded again. Pictures, messages, even memes of Karen standing by the wall all over the community group. Half the block came by that weekend to help me clean the paint. Tom brought pizza, someone brought beer, and when the last coat of stone was set, the wall stood taller, cleaner, and stronger than before. Karen's SUV looked tiny next to it. She avoided me for weeks after that. The HOA board voted her out quietly, and word spread that she'd moved out of the neighborhood entirely, for peace of mind. As for me, I planted ivy along the base of the wall. Every morning when I sip my coffee, the sunlight hits it just right.
I smiled the day the first green leaves reached the top. Freedom grows fast when no one's trying to control it, I said softly. And in that moment, the quiet felt better than any argument I'd ever won.